Imagine a forest so dark, even the moonlight fears to penetrate its depths. This is not your ordinary woodland, but a realm laden with chilling tales of horror that are enough to freeze the blood in your veins. This forest, steeped in mystery, has been the stage of many a vanishing act, with people disappearing under circumstances that defy any logical explanation. The tales spun around the fireplaces of the locals are not for the faint-hearted. They narrate stories of eerie sounds that echo through the dense woods, sounds that are not of this world. They speak of sightings, strange and terrifying, that have been glimpsed in the fleeting light of dusk. The forest seems to come alive after sundown, taking on a spectral life of its own, a life that is both fascinating and terrifying. Venturing into this forest after sundown has been a dare few have lived to tell. One brave or perhaps foolish soul dared to challenge the forest's curse. Meet our adventurer, a spirited soul with a heart full of courage and a mind swirling with anticipation. He had always been drawn to the thrill of the unknown, the allure of uncharted territories. And so, under the cloak of night, he decided to venture into the forest, an enigmatic world shrouded in whispers and legends. As he stepped into the forest, his excitement was palpable, his every step echoing his eagerness to unfold the mysteries that lay ahead. The forest, bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight, seemed to welcome him with open arms. But as he delved deeper, the welcoming facade began to crumble. The sounds of the forest grew eerily silent. The path ahead started to blur, and a cold chill ran down his spine. His initial excitement gradually faded into uncertainty, and then into a creeping sense of fear. But as the darkness grew, so did his regret. Then in the heart of the forest, he met something unnatural. A presence that curdled the blood in his veins and caused his heart to pound like a drum. It was a terrifying entity, an abomination that defied all logic and understanding. It was neither man nor beast, but a grotesque amalgamation of both. Its form was twisted and malformed, a silhouette that seemed to shift and ripple, as if struggling to maintain its shape. The entity was shrouded in a darkness that seemed to consume the light around it, a void in the fabric of reality. Its eyes, if they could be called that, were two glowing orbs of crimson, burning with an unholy light that illuminated the forest floor with an eerie glow. The sounds it made were even more chilling, a cacophony of discordant notes that seemed to echo from the very bowels of the earth. It was a sound that was not meant to be heard by human ears, a sound that scraped against the mind, leaving a trail of dread in its wake. The protagonist was gripped by a fear so potent it left him paralyzed. His heart pounded in his chest, a wild drumbeat echoing his terror. His breath came in ragged gasps, each one a desperate plea for salvation. He wanted to run, to flee from this monstrous apparition, but his legs refused to obey. Frozen in fear, he could only watch as the entity moved closer. In the face of death, survival instincts kick in. It's a primal force, an adrenaline-fueled push that propels the protagonist into a frantic escape, an agonizing race against the nameless entity. He bolts through the forest, a maze of towering trees and underbrush, his breath coming out in ragged gasps. His heart hammers in his chest, a staccato rhythm echoing his fear. He stumbles, trips, scraps his hands on the rough bark, but he keeps going. There is no time for pain, no time for second thoughts. All that exists is the need to escape, the desperate push forward. Behind him, the entity persists, an ominous presence that seems to be everywhere and nowhere at once. Every snapped twig, every rustle of leaves sends a jolt of terror through him. It's right behind him, always, an unyielding pursuer in this nightmarish chase. He had escaped, or so he thought. The forest may let you leave, but it never truly lets you go. Our protagonist may have escaped its eerie clutches, but the phantom of the forest still lingers. Unseen shadows in the corner of his eye, whispers on the wind, the rustle of leaves when all is still. The horror, it seems, was not confined to the forest. It's a chilling reminder that the entity still haunts him. Remember, some doors once opened can never be closed.